All right, so here's a quick one talking about Nikita's sketches for the environment. Um, I'm doing the webcam this time, seeing if this works. So basically, there were some sizing issues, and I'm just gonna very briefly try and explore them and see what went wrong. And I'm recording just in case anyone has similar issues. So hang on, let's see if this works. Haha, fancy. Okay, so we are here in Unity, and you can see that there are some there's some issues with Nikita's drawings lining up to mine in Unity, even though like everything's actually I changed stuff to 265 just to check it, make sure that wasn't the issue. But even though it's all like 256, I said change to 256. It's still got these sizing issues. So what I'm going to here, let me show you the original thing that I found when I came in. Yeah, they're just like they're a little bit too big. They're not quite lining up properly, and they're not quite lining up with the grid. Let me also grab the big one. Oof! I recently made a new document to try and clean all this up. Oh, the big one was always at 256. So I recently made a new one to clean this up. But basically, like they line up with the bottom, but they don't line up quite right with the grid, and they definitely getting some errors here. So I'm gonna go into Photoshop, and I'm gonna try and see what's going on with this, and try and export it in a better way to see if we can get this figured out. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to import this one right here. And it doesn't actually look like Photoshop wanted to import that at the correct size, so instead I'm going to open it with Photoshop. And I'm actually going to grab the layer and drag it in here holding Shift. There we go, that's the correct size. So we've got our big boy in here now. And we're just going to maneuver him to about where we wanted everything to line up, and we're getting the same kind of like lining up issues as we got in Unity, and in fact the entire wall, it's kind of lining up in the same way, or it's kind of like being misaligned with the grid in the same way that the one was in Unity. So this is edging up and out a little bit here, which could be has potential to just be just fine, but this is moving up off this grid here, which is definitely not fine. And then we don't have this alignment quite right, which was going to be important for it actually looking good. So yeah, same thing here. It's not quite lining up here. It's not quite, it's definitely not lining up here, and these aren't lining up here. So we're going to resize this one first and take a look and see if we can fix this just by resizing, not even redrawing anything, because we do not want to redraw stuff right now. So, back to Photoshop, and I am just going to grab your... Where is your line art, actually? Here we go. Just gonna grab your line art, and I'm going to grab it at the same time as I grab the background, because we want to keep the background and the line art together. And I'm just going to kind of... Oof. Okay. going to kind of, oh no, pixels are selected. Select inverse. Oh, let's do that, and then let's apply the layer mask. And then let's see. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so now we can probably grab them together and transform, and it'll actually... There we go. Okay, so first I'm just going to transform it. See if I can get these to line up. Because I'm assuming that you drew this against mine in a way that was actually going to kind of work. So we'll see if it was just a sizing issue first. Hello? Hit enter. There we go. So now we've got something that looks kind of like this. So it's not lining up. Alright. Now, what can we do about this then? Well, now that we've got those lined up, we can actually start transforming and moving some stuff around so that we can match it. Now, importantly, we want this to line up with one of these grid pieces because everything needs to fit the hitboxes. So I'm just going to grab this. Here, I'm actually gonna duplicate these layers and then merge these ones together so we can work with all of them at once. And shift it until, and I'm also going to show myself the grid, which you very cleverly kept on your Photoshop document, and just show it a little bit better so that, whoops. Oh, come on. So, we want it to line up just like that, right? Perfectly with the grid. Same deal with this one. Kind of get it to line up a little bit better with the grid. Even if it doesn't line up quite right with my chunks, it's fine. As long as we're doing everything we can to be as much as possible perfectly with the grid. And then we can do stuff like maybe we want to reach right across here. And bring this one up like this, so that those line up a little bit better. That cut off that one, so we're gonna try and fix that. This isn't actually the same brush that I wanted you guys to use, but it's close enough. And then we can just kind of grab this, throw it on right there. There might be some warbling, but it's all good. So we've lined this up with the grid, we've lined this up with the grid, we've lined this up with the grid. Now we've got this one. That one's an easy one. Whoops. I wanted to grab that side. Actually, here, merge down. Just bring this one down here. And same deal. So this side. Oh, that's a problem. Your angles aren't actually exact. Is it on this side too? I don't think it is. I think it's just down here. Well, that's a, yeah, always make sure that you're drawing at the exact angle, and as long as you're holding shift while you're making your lines, and then you use the proper transformation, you should wind up with the perfect angle. There we go. And then, here, let me grab a better one that's going to be more exact. There we go. That angle doesn't matter too much. Like, I didn't actually really need to do that, but it's better than the alternative. We got some other issues here, but I'm just gonna not worry about that for now, with maybe the exception of this little chunk here. Just gonna fill that in. And now finally we got the roof. So all I'm gonna do here is like locate an area where it's all verticals, and then just grab this and shrink it down until it's completely flush with, and your angles are a little bit off here, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. This one's not going to be quite as easy to fix because it's got these little indents here. So I'm gonna, excuse me. Do that. Yeah, something like that. And that'll fix it well enough. There's this little thing here. I think that was maybe my fault. Don't know though. Careful with this, just in case. Careful with this. So yeah. So hopefully this should match up better in Unity, because we've got all of these precise to the grid. Everything needs to be aligned to the grid, and then we can make sure that similar thing happens with your other ones. And if we really want to, we could try matching them with this back in their document files. So let me just because I'm gonna do them all at once. Let me just bring this one up. There we go. Oh shush. This error. It's because of the text. So let me just bring this one up. Bring this up. Turn it up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing better. And then, oh here. Let's merge this one down. So, let's just drag this one in here. So this is supposed to be on that corner right there. So actually having this one isn't super helpful, but it's going to be really helpful when we do the one that kind of makes up the entire corner. So once again, your angles aren't quite right. Yeah, that's kind of a big problem. Having angles that are just a little bit off like that, it's kind of an issue. But it's not something that we can't take care of right here. So I'm just gonna try and line this up. Good job with lining it up to the grid. But see this one not quite lined up to the grid. And that is, I think, where the problem came from. And then what we can do is, because we know some of the other bits that this is going to want to match up with, we can grab this one bring it in here. Line it up right here. And see, that's not quite right. And I realize you didn't have this when you were working, so that's honestly an error on my part, and that's probably why this happened. Not your fault, my fault. I take responsibility. Buck stops with me, all that stuff. So now we can just try, first of all, resizing this one. Oh, and I'm forgetting the curved window. We want to bring the curved window in here because that's the most important part of making sure that this one actually works. And because it's a smaller one, you can actually just drag the PNG right in here. So this is, yeah, so there's the curved window right there. So it ends up really off. So let's figure out, once again, I'm gonna grab this one and I'm gonna bring it all the way. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah. Grab this thing, bring it all the way up here. Duplicate, merge layers, because it just makes it easier to work with, because I don't have to do the same translations twice. Oh, and this one is, where's the other, oh, there we go. Yeah. This one is the same, so, I'm gonna do that, and then apply layer mask, and then, no, shoot, okay. Grab that, do that, apply layer mask. Perfect, okay. So, first I'm just going to try resizing. I'm going to want to resize so that this lines up, oh no, this one, make it transparent. This one lines up right there, and then the top lines up to that, just like that. Yeah, so most of the issues with this one was just the size. Though there are also some window clipping stuff. I'm gonna bring the curved window up so that we can make sure that it's, yeah. Yeah, so what can we do about this? Well, first of all, we can fix this really easily just by grabbing, oops, just by grabbing this. Resizing it. Grabbing this one, bringing it down right there. There we go. And just kind of, oh, what am I even doing? Always an easier way. There's always an easier way. There we go. And then because these lengths are so short, just gonna freehand. Perfect. Okay, so there's that. We bring the north window in, and it fits pretty much perfectly. Nice, nice. Yeah, so aside from the sizing issue, your thing here was almost spot on. And then all we need to do is fix these. Oh, shush. You know, sometimes lasso tool messes with me a little bit. So let's try putting them like right here. Does that work? It's a bit of a tangent for my taste. Whoop. There we go. Okay, so now do the same thing. Oh, come on. There we go. Nice. Alright, so now comes the final one. So we fixed those two, and they all should work together. Now comes the final one. Let's just open up this one. Nope. And it's a pretty small document. Are these angled? No, they're not. They just looked angled, probably because of my it's really cool. My angle of my Cintiq. Perfect. Okay. So instead of that, then I'm actually gonna grab this and I'm gonna drag it into this one. I'm gonna drag both of them into this one. So this is our final for. Oh wait. It's our final for that. Oh, I needed to merge it first. Merge down. There we go. So this is our final for that. Gonna sit him right there. Yeah, pretty much. We are pretty much lining up with all the grids. It's all looking pretty good. And then we bring in. Where's that other one? Where did? Oh, it's up here. Okay. There. Huh? Oh, it's because it. What even happened here? Okay, so again, gonna do that mask. Apply the mask. There we go. Okay, so whoops. So what's the problem with this one? Again, it's really kind of a weird size for what we're working with, but it lines up pretty nicely with everything. But then yeah, there's like some definite grid issues. So first it's the sizing. Your work on the environment is in general really nice. It's really good stuff though. So gotta hand it to you for that. And then it's this weird kind of extra thing. Here, I'm actually gonna. Gonna do that, and then maybe we might even want to do a little hint at the overhang. And then I'm just gonna erase this stuff. you know. So we are redrawing a little bit. Oops. And then let's do like one of these maybe. Yeah. A little bit more dimensionality, and also to adapt for this little thing, which you cleverly put in so that this would work. And then let's just do one of these, one of these, one of these. Oh, again. Ugh. Oh. Oh. So, ZBrush actually has this this little thing where you can tell it to, here, I'm gonna do this a smarter way. You can tell it to make your layer that you're working on, or your subtool basically that you're working on. You can hit solo and it'll only show the layer you're working on. And it's awesome. And I really wish that Photoshop had something similar, because that way I could just like isolate, like I wouldn't have to deal with if I wanted to isolate, so that I could make sure that the entire what am I saying? Sorry, I'm working. It's hard to talk while you're working. What is this stuff? There we go. So now I've got merge down, apply the layer mask. Now I've got this one right here. So now I'm just going to toss it back into, oh, this doesn't actually look like it's going to be big enough. Canvas size. It's 768, 1024 is the next one. There we go. Eventually, when you've been working on this long enough, you start to memorize them. So I'm going to toss it back in there. And then just make sure it's completely lined up by turning on the grid. That's not the grid. The grid. How did it like to line up with the grid? Back in our old one. Yeah, so it likes that. And it definitely likes that. So I'm just gonna actually wanna bring it a little bit more like this. More like that. Let's bring it up one. Just so that we can catch the whole thing, because we know this works. So, well, we don't know for sure that it works. And then this isn't really, oh, that's not it. This isn't it really lining up perfectly with that. So I wonder why that is. Is that a mistake I made with my adjustment on this one? Oh no, it's because of this one. So, that should be just fine because it will line up with the next one. It's just gonna, it just needs a little bit of adjustment. I hope that's good. Let's check it back with the other one. Yeah. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so now it's export all of them. And we'll see how it is. We'll see how it does. So, save that one as a PNG. That one's, yeah. This was small chunk, right? That's what we want to save. Oh, did this one have the grid on? It did. Oh, I'm a dingus. Always turn your grid off before you export. PNG West Chunk version 2. Save. Yes. Okay. There we go. Turn the grid off, turn everything else off. And then that does line up, right? Yeah, it lines up with what matters, which is here, 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 and here. Save as PNG. Small chunk west right version 2. Save. Blah, 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 blah. And then, what was it? This one? No, wait, hang on. This one. West wall. So, we want to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of the grid, and get rid of that. And then, save as a PNG again. And then I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, there we go. 2, save. Okay, and we can test if the PSDs work or not. So I did that really fast, but let's see if they actually function. So I'm gonna pull up my recents. God, why did they go into downloads? I don't know. Oh, they went into downloads, which means everyone probably saw the pirated movies I have. Been watching a lot of Marvel movies recently, just kind of listening to them as I work. Let's test this one first. So, plunk that in there. Where did that go? Small. It's in alphabetical order, so. Boom. There we go. 256, 8192, hit apply. And then you dump it into the tile set, into the tile palette. And then you grab the sprite and you go to bottom left, and you hit apply. There we go. So, now I can grab the thing in the tile palette, and I can place it there. And then I can try grabbing, oh my god, I've got so many test tiles. It's impossible to look through all of that. There we go. There it is. I can grab this one, place it right there, and place it right there, and so grab this one, place it right there. Oh, you guys can't actually see my tile palette. Grab this one, place it right there, and it actually lines up. And then let's test it all, shall we? I'm going to drag the or I'm gonna put my wall in here. Where's my wall? I just called it huge wall because it's the biggest chunk of asset in here. Oh, I don't grab it there. I grab it in the tile palette. I'm a fool. Whoops. Ooh. There we go. So now, just place my wall right there. Boom! Oh, that is nice. It's really nice. It's not perfectly perfect, but it's well on its way. So then, let's actually start importing the rest of yours. Version 2. Grab that, put it there. It's under small chunk. Version 2. Right? Is that it? Yeah. 256. 8192. And save that. And then we grab the sprite it made and we put it on the bottom left. And you hit apply. There we go. Let's actually put that in the background. There we go. So it lines up, lines up, lines up, lines up. Everything lines up. And all your stuff lined up with itself in the last one, but it didn't line up with anything else. But now it lines up with everything. And now finally, we've got your big wall chunk. West wall chunk 2. Dump it right there. Oh, it's already down here. 256. 8192. And then chuck it into the tile palette. And then okay, here we go. Bottom left, apply. Hey, that's looking pretty good. And then these line up, and this lines up with this, and it hits it all just like that. So, in conclusion, make sure that all of the major angles line up exactly with the grid. Hang on, I can actually... I'm never gonna get tired of that. In conclusion, make sure all of the major angles line up to the grid. There we go. That's better. Make sure all the major angles line up to the grid. I suspect that part of the reason yours were a little bit too big, a little bit differently sized, is because you were working directly off your drawings from the old palette. So make sure everything lines up to the new grid on the new adjusted templates. The new template and the new template adjusted too. Make sure everything lines up to the grid in those templates, not in the original template. And then everything should line up just fine with the rest of the assets. I'm going to post these in the Google Drive, and I'm going to upload this video as quickly as possible so that you can get to it. But that has been just I don't know how long it's been. I was working the whole time, but that's been a quick little guide on what's going on, why those didn't quite work, and hopefully everyone in the future can make sure to fix theirs properly. Thank you so much for your work. It still looks amazing. It just wasn't quite lined up, and it wasn't quite adjusted perfectly for the game. So thanks for all your work. Good job. See you guys tomorrow.